You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. It is time for my final mock draft, Mock Draft 5.0. As we've done this entire all season, we'll run through the Pro Football Focus Simulator. They'll pick for the other 31 teams. I'll pick for Seattle through every single pick. We'll reveal them. We'll react to them. I'll explain why for each pick in just a matter of moments. Before we do, if you want the Seahawks to have a great draft, like the video. Don't jinx it. Don't make me come find you because you didn't like today's video. Do your part. Let's get the good vibes going for John Schneider and Mike Macdonald to have the best draft possible for your Seattle Seahawks. Like the video. Don't even take a chance on it. We'll get started with today's show. Let's set the scene for you of the Seahawks draft picks. It all gets started in the first round at 16 overall. Then we wait a bit. We go to the third round at 81, followed by two fourth-round picks at 102 and 118, and then two sixth-round picks at 179 and 192, and then the Seahawks wrap up the draft at 235 for their final pick in the seventh round. The team needs for the Seahawks, got to plug up the edge rusher position. Can't have too many pass rushers. Need some help on the O-line as well as the D-line, specifically the interior of both. Need some help at linebacker, also defensive back, looking at the corner and the safety spots, and then the tight end position as well, as Noah Fant needs another receiving threat on the other side. So, without further ado, let's get started. The last five picks leading into the Seahawks pick at 16. Cooper DeJean off the board to the Vikings at 11. Leatu Latu to the Broncos at 12. Byron Murphy, one of the most talked about Seahawks draft targets. He's gone at 13 to the Raiders. 14, Dallas Turner, another guy we've talked about a lot for Seattle. He's gone at 14 to the Saints. Terrion Arnold going to the Colts at 15. So, who's available for Seattle at 16? Well, some familiar names that we've talked about, including Troy Fautanu, the offensive lineman from Washington, Jerzon Newton, the defensive tackle from Illinois, Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State, Olu from Penn State, the offensive tackle, Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington. So, with those five on the board, that leaves the Seahawks with a decision to make. Do they trade down, or do they pick at 16? I'll reveal what I decided to do in just a bit, but what do you guys think? If the board works out that way, and we have been consistent on this program saying, are the Seahawks going to trade down? All depends on how the board shakes out. If that's the board that stands, what do you do? Be the GM. Y for yes, N for no. Let us know if you think the Seahawks should trade down. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the best place to go for the best seats and the lowest prices guaranteed. Tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, including to see your Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park. I love going to Mariner games. You will too with Game Time. Pick the event you want to go to, then choose the seat. See if you like it or not. Maybe might stumble upon a flash deal of sorts. Then you're checking out with all major credit card providers, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, and more. Game Time makes it simple and easy. And you can save $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ChatSports. What are you waiting for? Download Game Time today. Save $20 off with that promo code ChatSports. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Terms and conditions apply. Download Game Time today. And the pick is in. Dun, 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 dun. We decided to stay at 16 with this pick. With the 16th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Washington offensive lineman Troy Fautanu with the pick. I got to tell you, it's a tough call for the Seahawks. Do you trade down or do you go with what you know? And I think Fautanu is too good for the Seahawks to pass up on of potentially moving down from. I think they stay and make this pick. Let's tell you more about Fautanu. Played for the Washington Huskies from 2019 to 2023. First team All Pac-12 selection. Pac-12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. Kuiper has him as the number 1 offensive guard, number 12 overall player in this year's draft. Will he play guard? Will he play tackle? Seattle likely to put him at guard, but either way, the Seahawks would be in great shape wherever they put him on the offensive line. His numbers last year, a 75.1 overall grade. Allowed 2 sacks, 3 hits, 18 hurries, 6 penalties. The scouting report, pretty good on Fautanu as well. Very good athletic ability. Delivers jarring blows. Agile and quick and pass pro. Maximizes length. A bit inconsistent at set points, but overall, a very good prospect for the Seahawks that should be on their offensive line for 10 years or more. That type of potential you're talking about, a long-term starter. Should the Seahawks draft Troy Fautanu? What do you guys think of the pick? D for draft, P for pass. Weigh in. Let us know what you think of this move to go with Troy Fautanu. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft here on Seahawks Today, beginning Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with live coverage of the first round and the Seahawks pick. Will they pick a guy like Fautanu? Will they trade back down? We will talk about it all here on the channel. Don't miss out. Live coverage here on Seahawks Today. Myself, Smitty's going to be here. Party with us. Come hang Thursday night live here on Seahawks Today. Help us reach our next milestone, 51,500 subscribers. Just over 80 away from reaching that next mark. Subscribe now and join us on Thursday night. We'll see you then. To the third round we go. We take care of the corner position and stay within the Pacific Northwest. Grabbing up Oregon corner Kyrie Jackson with the 81st overall selection. I think this is a sneaky good find. I think he's one of the more underrated players in this draft. First team All Pac-12 selection this year. Mel has him as the number 19 corner and the number 128 overall player in this draft. I think he's a lot better than that. He was very productive. He was an impact player, a game changer for Oregon's defense. Previously was with the Oregon Ducks before that. Here's what he did this past year with Oregon, folks. 3 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, 34 tackles. I thought he was very impressive. And you look at what the Seahawks are doing with Devin Witherspoon probably staying at the nickel spot, with Reek Woolen on the outside. You can start Kyrie Jackson on the other outside corner spot immediately as far as I'm concerned. Last year allowed just 1 touchdown, a QB rating of 41.6. Kyrie Jackson, I think, would be a very good player for the Seahawks. The scouting report, excellent length and size, certainly looks the part. Good fluidity, very low pad level, very good at tracking the ball, competitor at the catch point. He's a little bit handsy downfield, gets a bit out of control, but I think that can be coached out of him. Otherwise, it would be a very good pick for the Seahawks. Let's stay in the third round now. Go to pick 102. And this is where I have the Seahawks selecting Kansas State tight end Ben Sinnott with the pick. And I got to tell you, I really like this pick for the Seahawks here. 2-time All Big 12 selection, number 2 tight end in the country, number 49 overall player. Really just does a lot of things well. And the Seahawks are looking for a secondary tight end receiving threat to play alongside Noah Fant. I think this could be exactly what the Seahawks are looking for. We saw improvement in a Kansas State offense that is very run-heavy, okay, with what they do there with Chris Kleiman and company there in Manhattan. He still had quite the impact on the receiving game last year with 6 touchdowns, nearly 700 yards, good yards per reception as well. 14 his first season, close to 14 again last year as well. Good acceleration and burst. He's flexible. K-State lined him up everywhere. Very versatile on the football field. A chain mover with run-after-catch ability, light on his feet. He's got poor explosive ability, but otherwise a good talent there as far as that goes. Who's a player the Seahawks should draft? We've already named a few. We got more to get to here in just a bit. We'll want to hear from you guys. I don't care what round we're talking. Just give me a name. Who's the player you want the Seahawks to draft? Way in the comment section, let us know. The steal of the draft for the Seahawks. In the 4th round, we get T'Vondre Sweat out of the University of Texas, the defensive tackle with the 118th overall pick for the Seahawks. This is a great find. Mel Kiper at one point had him as the number 2 defensive tackle in this draft. His stock has slid a little bit, but that doesn't deny the player that he was in the Big 12 Conference last year, helping take that Texas defense to the next level, winning the Big 12 Conference, getting the college football playoff. He was a unanimous All-American, the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Year. He's a big fella, comes in at 360 pounds, but even with all that, folks, he still brings a lot to offer, a lot to the table. He's learned to play with that size. As you can see last year, 45 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, does it all well. Goes after the quarterback, stops the run. The Seahawks need reinforcements on the inside, and you look at somebody that's a massive human, lower thick half. He can take on blocks against the run well, concedes no ground against double teams. No stone goes unturned with this guy. Active hands as a pass rusher, and conditioning needs a bit of work, but he's certainly on the right track there. Let's move ahead now to the 6th round, the 179th pick. We find Josh Proctor, safety from The Ohio State, the product out of Owasso, Oklahoma. Good size in length and eye balance. A very high IQ, smart football player that could immediately compete for playing time within the Seahawks safety room. Then at 192, staying in the 6th round, the Seahawks go with Jalen Harrell, the edge rusher from the University of Michigan. Physical, good motor to go after and get sacks and do damage there on that front. And then in the 7th round, we find Jalen Ford. I know we waited a while to take care of the linebacker position, okay? But Jalen Ford, I'm shocked that he's still around. I think it's a guy that can compete for playing time and would be an upgrade over Devin Bush, if I'm going to be honest with you. He steps into that role that Devin Bush had as the backup linebacker. He's athletic. He pursues with leverage. To me, this would be a good pick. So, there you have it. What do you guys think of my mock draft? That was all the picks for Seattle. Grade it for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Anything less than an A, you're a hater. How did I do? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. So, to recap our Seahawks mock draft, we went with Troy Fautanu with our first pick. Then, Kyrie Jackson, corner from Oregon at 81. Ben Sinnott, the tight end from K-State at 102. T'Vondre Sweat, the defensive tackle from the University of Texas at 118. Our final 3 picks were with Josh Proctor, safety out of Ohio State, 179. Jalen Harrell, the edge rusher from Michigan at 192. And Jalen Ford, the linebacker from Texas at 235. Who was your favorite pick from my mock draft? Of those 7 players, what do you guys think of my picks? Give me your favorite player that you liked and what I did with those picks. I got to tell you, I like the value of T'Vondre Sweat. Get it in 4th round. That was probably my favorite. Let me know what your favorite was. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today for continuing draft coverage. We'll be live Thursday night beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will see you then. Subscribe now for free. We'll see you later on.